We need to talk about Venus in Scorpio. It right now is ruling over the dark moon and the south node in Libra. And what that translates to is us taking our power back, even in the shadow places, and especially where we have previously been manipulated in our feminine energy, where there is giving and receiving. So what could that look like? Have people offered to you specifically so that they can get a return out of you? Clock it, lock it, put it in your pocket. No more. Close the door. Are you offering to other people just so that you can get a return from them? Interesting. Are you finding that there are patterns within your giving and your receiving, or your feminine and your masculine? Or you're giving and receiving for both the feminine and the masculine. My goodness, it could double layer down like that, especially with the Saturn and Pisces influence right now. Super detailed within those spiritual structures, such as giving and receiving and masculine and feminine. True. Are you noticing any patterns within giving and receiving that actually take your power away? Are you receiving too little or too much of something that you don't want? Are you returning what you receive, even if what you received is not actually what you were asking for? Right now is a time where we're reclaiming our power, in those places of offering and receiving. How we offer matters, how we receive matters, and we're vulnerable in both positions and processes. Yeah. So if you find yourself going back over some things of, I remember when that happened. I remember when I was offered that. I remember how that felt. I don't know that I like that anymore. We're closing the door before this eclipse on October 2nd. You hear the knocking? There's a new one that's about to open up. We got a new door of offerings and receivings, of giving and receiving, of balancing of masculine and feminine energies within us and our structures and our practices. And also disobeying the forces that have forced us to obey, and places where we have not asked to receive what we have received. That dark moon and submission magic, I revere it. Sometimes people offer to you strictly so that you will submit to them. But that Venus in Scorpio and the dark moon that is in Libra with the south node right now says, no more of that, actually. You can't just offer to me to get something out of me. No more. You can't do that. We're closing the door on that. And if you do offer to me, because Scorpio is about contracts, and this is one of my favorite things as someone who is heavy 8th house and Scorpio ruled to do. Part of my contract in the unspoken spaces, it's like one of my blanket terms that I normally don't tell people, but you know what, with the Scorpio energy coming in, I've been revealing more secrets recently. Okay, it's neither here nor there. Just, one of my unspoken clauses for any sort of those contracts I would enter. This contract does not activate unless I specifically say that it does. Just because I receive something from you in an exchange does not mean I owe you anything. And with Scorpio placements and 8th house placements, sometimes in the shadow places, we can get tricked into exchanges or contracts with other people. And especially if you are a beginner at understanding those Plutonian, Plutonic, Scorpionic places where there are contractual exchanges, because it's a really deep study, and it takes a pretty long time, at least it did for me, to get a good grasp on it. Once you do have a grasp on it, it's pretty easy to navigate in those deep, dark underworld shadows, but until then, it's a lot of studying and a lot of remembering and revering and steering. Where are we going now? Regardless of that, though, if you are new in that sort of contractual binding and understanding how those exchanges happen and what it costs you, having blanket terms to the contracts that just kind of make them null and void until you specifically are like, okay, I'm ready for an exchange now. It's probably a good idea. It's probably a great idea, actually. It would have saved me some sticky hot situations, but we won't get into it. Gratitude, reverence, and love to you. Keep up what you need to do. We're almost to October 2, and I'm very excited for it, so I'll talk to you soon.